Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Specialist PGM's consultancy SFA Oxford announced this week at the Mining Indaba that platinum slide down the slippery supply slope has already begun in earnest. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer is in the studio to tell us more. Welcome, Martin.
Thanks, Shannon.
Can you give us a brief background on this story?
Yeah, it came like a bolt out of the blue. It was on the first day of the Indaba in Cape Town, and it was the last speech. And in fact, the chairman said to him, look, I might not be able to wait till the end of the speech, so you might have to sign yourself off. And, he dropped this bombshell, which I don't think anybody was expecting. To have these phrases like sliding down the slippery supply slope. And we're talking about a national patrimony here. We're talking about a national treasure, a veritable Aladdin's cave, of treasure. It's our platinum assets, which could build tremendous wealth here. And what the SFA Oxford, Stephen Forrest, said was that we are underinvesting in these, and it looks like we're mismanaging them. And that was quite frightening, because we've seen situations before where if there's a gross undersupply of a product in high demand, people go to other products. It's not long before someone will come in with an alternative. So it's pretty scary, the comments that he put across very stridently. And so what he's saying is that this supply gap, because of underinvestment and because of a situation of low performance from the mines, is heading for a toppling point, a potential toppling point, where the price of your commodity spikes, and so nobody can afford it, and they dash out to use something else. And that is not a scenario that we like to hear about. But at the same time as he was delivering in Cape Town, our Mining Weekly team and video team was actually interviewing Anglo Platinum in Johannesburg. And if you juxtapose, our video of Anglo Platinum's CEO and his speech, you will see that the one was contradicting the other, because Anglo Platinum was telling us, no, the investment is sufficient, the production is sufficient. He was actually telling a very, very different story from an unusual research base. We used to Johnson Matthey, and we used to the Japanese research body also coming up with statistics and information about platinum. But we're not used to hearing from SFA Oxford with a seeming plug into Oxford University. The message that they conveyed was very different to the others. Pretty alarming message, and we hope that we're not sliding down the slippery supply slope to a position that could hurt South Africa.
Now, who does he mention then as the biggest culprit of this?
Well, he singled out Rustenburg Platinum Mine, and that is the platinum mine in the Anglo Platinum stable. And he was saying that they were eating into their reserves. Now, in theory, for every ounce of platinum you take out the ground, you should have another one somewhere that you're planning. What he's saying is that every year for the last few years, our industry in South Africa has been taking out proven reserves, proven and probable reserves at a rate about 10% a year, which is then putting us in a bad position if the sort of demand envisaged for platinum is realized.
Now, SFA Oxford CEO Stephen Forrest, as you mentioned, says that limited supply means higher prices, resulting in increased risk of substitution.
That's right.
What is he referring to here?
Yeah, that's the big worry, that you've got platinum, the world becomes dependent on platinum. You don't want them looking elsewhere. I mean, we used to have dentists regularly put gold in our teeth. The price of gold spikes, they find something else. And this is the danger. We noticed that even in parts of the world, they were using fertilizer in catalytic rolls or in exhaust cleaning rolls. We don't want them, sort of doing that sort of thing, that they find something else that's much cheaper. And people will come up with cheaper alternatives. So platinum is on a winning stroke it's needed to clean up the world's pollution. You know, we were told that the big cities of Tokyo and London won't be able to breathe without platinum because it makes sure that those exhaust fumes are cleaned up. Makes a fantastic role. We're looking forward, you know, to bigger developments in platinum that will be actually new engines for cars and everything else with a fuel cell. And we don't need to be undersupplying, you see, but there's a whole lot of issues here. They're talking about mining underperformance, investment underperformance, but there are also stoppages of mines. So, you know, our production has been down, and the whole of South Africa needs to take note of this. This is a bit of a wake-up call for us.
What do you think the likely option then is to fill that supply gap?
Yeah, well, the whole thing is recycling, you know, and recycling is that option where, you know, platinum can be recycled very, very well, and you try and recycle more and more platinum, but he believes that we won't be able to recycle enough. You know, he's saying you're just not going to make it to even if there's a quantum shift, you're still not going to make it. You know, if recyclers change their behavior, change their habits, still not going to be good enough. So, you know, sort yourselves out, because he's saying we can't get this platinum and platinum group metals from anywhere else in the world except Zimbabwe. There are also issues in Zimbabwe. The rest of the world, you know, normally comes up with platinum as a byproduct of nickel or other metals, so it's not the main focus. This is the place to get the platinum. Platinum is the metal of the new age. Platinum is the metal potentially of the fuel cell and the new car engine. We need to really make sure that we get the supply going. We're not threatened by alternatives, and there's been a deficit around for some time. You know, some of the miners like a bit of a deficit because it means the price is going to go up. But I would be inclined to say South Africa should be supplying the market, you know, not looking for any extras there, supplying it well and making sure that the availability is there, and we can play our role in the world, in a world, you know, that wants clean air and environment.
Well, thank you very much, Martin. Always interesting to speak to you.
Thanks, Shannon.
That's the show for today. Join us again next time for more news and insight into what's happening in the mining world.
For 30 years, Creamer Media's Engineering News has delivered unmatched insight into South Africa's real economy. Subscribe now and go to engineeringnews.co.za for the real economy in real time. Engineering News, not just for engineers.